Final impenitence. Wednesday, May 22nd,
Seamless sentence flow,
1968,
no
140.
gaps.
My beloved child, the lesson that I am going to dictate to you will be much more important than you think. It will even have a decisive importance in your life. I will speak to you of that final impenitence. It is very important that you are able to arrive at the end of your life with a mind filled with serenity towards everyone. But it is still more important that you have peace with God, of which peace with your neighbor is the consequence. Should one even find himself in the state of mortal sin, it is important to have the soul disposed to a change of mind, to repent and turn to one's Creator, asking Him for pardon. This would appear to be such an easy thing, especially just before death and before judgment, which, immediately after death, awaits the soul. Instead, it is not like that. You say, "He who lives well dies well." And that is true. But it is also true that he who habitually and voluntarily lives in sin does not accept to change his life at the last moment, but prefers and chooses to remain in sin and to continue to hate God during all eternity. Certainly, the impenitent does not suspect to find what he will find because he is accustomed to seeing things as they happen in the world, where God, while giving some little idea of His justice, uses exclusively His mercy and goodness. But when the impenitent finds himself before God the Judge, and it is too late to repent, he will discover the enormity of his culpable ignorance and malice, which will have conducted him to such a desolate and horrible end. I desire that the sinner be converted and live. I am patient, and I knock, and I wait, trying out all sort of means to the very last day. All paths are good, and I go about sowing graces. I make use of everything. At times I grant material goods. At times I take them away. I give health and take it away. I give spiritual graces of all kinds. I leave nothing untried, because the health of souls is what interests me most. I who created and redeemed them at such a dear price. If the soul refuses my help, if it refuses to repent, it will fall into the abyss at the moment of death. Then, at last, its eyes will be opened. It will see the punishment prepared for it. It will not have the possibility to change, to repent, but will have to remain, during all eternity, in the tragic situation of those who hate God. How necessary it is, my child, to reflect on these things while you are still alive, and to repair quickly any fault as soon as you perceive that you have fallen into it. The Lord knows your weakness, and He knows that man sins very easily. If, after the sin, man turns to God with a repentant heart, he obtains pardon, which God gives easily as soon as He sees a minimum of goodwill and the desire to pick oneself up. But obstinacy in fault and the fact of not wanting to repent puts the Lord in the condition of not wanting to pardon. In each instance, the cooperation of the human will is always necessary for God to act, because He never forces the freedom of man. You let them feel the ardor of your charity, of your affection, in order to win them to God, to me. Have you truly prayed with all your heart for everyone? Or are you hermetically shut in within yourselves, limiting your supplications to such personal and material trivialities before which it is ever pointless to linger? My children, broaden your views and your hearts. Love everyone. How many problems resolve themselves with ease, even though they appear insoluble. Never forget that what counts the most is to save the soul. But you will save yours with difficulty if you do not also have at heart the salvation of others.